This is my favourite part of the trip, where I get to look over footage and recap what has happened and reflect upon it. A lot of people haven't travelled to Turkey, and it is a wonderful place to see. Lots of travel infrastructure, friendly and hospitable people, and amazing food. What more could you want? It's not as cheap as Southeast Asia, but it is cheaper than travelling around Oz. Daily budget would be around 60 to 75 Australian dollars. That's including transportation, also dependent on which area you are in Turkey. I spent about 2 weeks in this amazing country, and it was a perfect amount of time for me. I started my journey off in Western Australia, Perth. I had a few brewskis with the boys. It was a bit of a nightcap before I began my 20-hour commute to Istanbul, Turkey. I had 2 layovers, so the flight was split up nicely. I was meeting my buddy, have some food with, and crash at his place for the night. Did have some issues finding him as I got a little bit lost on the way there, but that's okay. We've learnt to buy a disposable SIM on your first day and arriving in a new country. What is travelling like without getting a little bit lost? I spent my first couple days in the centre of Turkey. I'd advise you all to do some research where you're staying, as there are some tourist hotspot areas which will be exponentially more expensive, especially the one near the Blue Mosque. It will be cheap for accommodation, however food and restaurants will be considerably more unless you kind of look out and about a bit more hastily. I skipped the Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque. There's lots of other mosques which you can visit for free. For me, this was just kind of a bit pricey in my budget range. Istanbul, I made my way to Cappadocia, hot air balloon central. Come here during summer months and wake up at 4 AM to climb the highest viewpoint spot for the best view of the balloon. I also highly recommend trying horse riding. It is great and affordable. The horses were treated well and were very chill. I highly recommend checking out the tour for the underground city too. You can see where people were living when they're trying to escape the Crusaders. I found Cappadocia to hit the nail on the head for what I was looking for travel-wise. I made my way to Antalya next. There were palm trees, good bars, the streets were vibrant because of the Islamic holiday when I visited. I stayed at the reggae bar with great vibes and an amazing sound system. What I mainly came for here were Roman ruins, which were extremely accessible. I got a tram to the UNESCO heritage site and enjoyed the remains of a once great empire. Pamukkale was up next on my sights to see. This place had a Roman theatre and natural springs. The theatre was my main highlight from this place. The springs were jam-packed and chaotic from it still being the holidays. I did treat myself to a hotel with a pool, which was much needed to cool down in the heat. I made my way to Selçuk, which had some amazing ruins just behind my hostel. I was extremely excited to visit the citadel, which was amazingly well preserved. A lot of people come to this area to visit Ephesus. I gave the miss for budget wise, and I felt very satisfied with all the Roman ruins I'd already visited. Quick stopover in Izmir for a few days just to break up my trip. I spent my time just wandering around the markets and just kind of relaxing a bit. I landed back in Istanbul. I was just there for a few days. I went on bar crawl, met some cool travelers as well, and just relaxed for the last few days I was there. Anyway, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and posted for more. I'll leave the links in the description of what I used to organize this trip. As always, thanks for listening.